we're moving right along with the rebranding of the app. So I really do believe that, you guys are going to get a good glimpse of what that is this week. I know we're going to have, some people that are going to test it out. Of course, Brandon's going to be one of those. So he's going to be able to bring back some good news to everybody of, how it works. We want to get some, feedback from the community first to make sure that the ease of the onboarding is actually simplified enough for the community. And then once we get that rolling, I think that you guys will find it a lot easier to share it also with people, because it kind of does the explaining of what this project is for you without you having to try to articulate it, because I know we go into some deep detail, and a lot of people that are here are new to the crypto space, so you're still learning. And kudos to you, because the crypto space is an amazing place to be, especially if you're involved in the right projects. The next thing is, the staking of the MoveQuest tokens to receive the rewards on for holding and not selling. That should also be ready to go this week. We are only going to have 3 levels, 3 month, 6 month, and 12 month, just so everybody knows. So we're not going to do a 30-day, because really to get that amount of MoveQuest for holding, we really want people that are planning on being long-term holders. 30-day holders are not really considered long-term. So those will be rewarded to people who are holding 90, the 3 months, the 6 months, or the 12 months. So if you're not planning to hold your MoveQuest that long, that's probably not part of the project that you'd want to take part in. We did a lot of conversation on this and thinking about it and looking at it. And so it's really geared around those that, are the long-term holders. Because if you're not a long-term holder, you would just take that MoveQuest and sell it anyway. And that's not what the goal is with that piece, is to reward people for holding it. So I'm going to give you more details on that as we move through the week. Let me see here. There's been some questions about going on to the base chain. Just so everybody knows, that's not going to happen until the middle to the end of January. When we were discussing the evolution and what we're doing there, I want everybody to understand, when we listed on the Avalanche chain, we did a liquidity raise 2 weeks prior to that listing. And there was a total of 220,000 MoveQuests that went into circulation from that liquidity raise. Then we paired it to 100,000, MoveQuest to 100,000 USDT, which started that market value at $1, okay, for MoveQuest. Now, when you look at the exchange today, there's only 25 to 30,000 MoveQuest in that liquidity pool. So a lot of that MoveQuest is no longer there when the listing happened. Over 70,000 MoveQuest actually have been purchased from that demand, and drives up the market value, even if it is at the $35 range right now. The promising thing about it all, like I've said before, is that the evolution contract is holding on to a market value of over $300 million worth of MoveQuest that it has purchased, and will be added as liquidity as the USDT is available from the evolution. So that's a long-term liquidity outlook for everybody who is here. When we go to base, there will not even be a liquidity raise. That means that not one person will hold MoveQuest. So if you understand where this is different, when we move into base, what these contracts are going to look at is, I'll use Brandon as an example. Brandon is mining with this wallet, and in this mining dock, Brandon has 8 Omega miners. That means when he goes to the base chain, that wallet will be able to mint 8 Omega miners at 50%. So on Avalanche, where you would have spent, let's say, $600 per Omega miner, you will only be spending $300 per miner over there. Now, when we talked last week, I also said you had to be holding that MoveQuest and that staking contract. But because we're not going to do the 30-day staking contract, we're not going to put in that requirement. Okay, so you don't have to be staking in order to take advantage. You just have to be mining. If you're mining with, 8 Lennies, it'll be 50% of what the 8 Lennies were. If you're mining with 8 alphas, it will be 50% of whatever those 8 alphas were. If you're mining with 2 Lennies, 2 primaries, 2 ultras, 2 alphas, and 2 whatevers, it doesn't matter. Whatever you are currently mining with on the Avalanche chain, you will be able to do so on the base chain. 100% of that. That means even the project doesn't get its 10%. 100% of all the miners that are going to move to the base chain as well, or add it. I shouldn't say move to, because you'll still be here on Avalanche. And those of you who are on the Binance Smart Chain, you'll be on Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche Chain, and Base Chain. That means that your proof of physical activity for the day can now be submitted on the Smart Chain, on the Avalanche Chain, and on the Base Chain. But 100% of all of the community who does purchase those miners for the base chain, that's all liquidity. So when I gave you an example the other day on Saturday's Zoom, if only the miners, I'm saying Omega miners, we're not talking about any of the other levels, just the Omegas. If every single Omega miner purchased over on the base chain as well, that token would list at $168. Not one MoveQuest is in circulation. So what does this mean? This means that nobody's going to have 3,000 or 4,000 MoveQuest tokens on the base chain. And they're going to pay $168 for every single MoveQuest, or $200 or $300. And if every single miner that's on the Avalanche chain actually purchases over on the base chain, the token will list at almost $500 with only 25,000 sitting on the exchange. That means everybody has to mine them or they have to buy them. Nobody would even hold a single MoveQuest token. It's, over here on the Avalanche chain, in order to prove the proof, we wanted to do the proof of concept. We're established now, okay, on both of these chains. We've done our beta on the Binance Smart Chain, and, everybody that was there was mining for, the last 3.5 years. Proof of concept on the Avalanche chain. We weren't able to do proof of concept on the Binance Smart Chain because while we were building the app, there was so much of the token that was being mined based on, the X amount that goes out per day in the daily distribution. And so not having the community, and to give you the difference, I wanted to give everybody numbers today. And so I'm going to give you what the current numbers are. It'll kind of give you an idea as to how the community really plays a role. On the Smart Chain, there's 38 Lenny miners. There are 1,269 primaries, 707 ultras, 1,156 alphas, 7,000 of just over 10,000 miners on the Binance Smart Chain. On the Avalanche chain, you have 4,719 Lennies. Okay, now remember, Binance Smart Chain has 38. 5,148 primaries. On the Binance Smart Chain, there's 1,269. On the Avalanche chain, there's 2,428 ultras. On the Binance chain, there's 707. On the Avalanche chain, there's 8,636 alphas. On the Binance chain, there's 1,156. On the Avalanche chain, there's 12,256 omegas. On the Binance chain, there's 7,188 omegas. So what does that mean for everybody who's on the Avalanche chain, but not on the Binance chain? When we get ready to list MoveQuest on the Binance Smart Chain, everybody who's on the Avalanche chain will also be able to do the same thing. You'll be able to mint your miners, whatever you have in the mining dock, whatever level that is. You'll be able to mint them on the Binance Smart Chain as well. And 100% of that USDT for the smart chain will also become the liquidity, along with there's like, I think 180 something thousand that will be listed already with the MoveQuest. So take the $180,000 of USDT when we list that, plus everybody who is on Avalanche that wants to begin mining on the smart chain. That's a great opportunity because it's not, the MoveQuest hasn't been listed there yet. Then we've got Base as well that's coming, and you'll be able to do the same thing on Base. Now you've got 3 blockchains that you're going to be able to mine tokens on. If the Avalanche chain, the community begins to grow again, especially with the rebranding of the app, where it makes it so much easier for people to go through, you'll really start to see the Avalanche price climb again. Because what's funny is that we're still maintaining about 260,000 MoveQuest that's in circulation. So between what the evolution contract does and what it's purchasing, and what it gets from like the mining dock and the different MoveQuest that comes through, because again, remember that the project never sells MoveQuest. So anytime you use MoveQuest, the use for the MoveQuest, it either is going back to the vault or it's going over to liquidity. It's keeping it at about that 260,000 MoveQuest in circulation, and every single week 17,500 MoveQuests go into circulation. So to be able to maintain at that 260 in circulation, that's a good thing. Okay, if you don't see 17,500 being added to what's in circulation, because there is enough going on within the ecosystem that it keeps that low, and that 17,000, you figure we've been mining since August 1st. 17,500 every single week are distributed. So if you do the math on that, that's almost 200,000 MoveQuests that should have been added to the 320 that already were in circulation. That's 520,000 MoveQuests. But there is only 260,000 in circulation. Why? Because when you mint, remember, that doesn't go into it doesn't go into the ecosystem. It really doesn't have any play in the ecosystem, except for it reduces the amount, the supply that's in circulation. So it's pulling that MoveQuest out and it's putting it back in the vault to be mined, in the year 2060. And then, of course, the mining dock is, taking up the MoveQuest token. That, when the challenges come out, the leasing comes out, all of this stuff, which we're going to be seeing here very, very soon. You guys are going to absolutely love that. It's going to take also more of that MoveQuest. And so we're able to keep that balance and keep that supply and demand that's there. So a lot of exciting things, but think about this. If every single person who's mining on the Avalanche chain prepares yourself now, and I purposely have not put the evolution prices. Remember, we had them, the prices they're at right now is what they were. And then we raised them because that's what the algorithm said it was time to do. But we backed them up, and I kind of left them there because the market value of the token is lower right now than what it was when it triggered for us to raise them. And so I still haven't done that lift up on that price. So it's a really good time for those of you who know that both the Binance Smart Chain and the Base chain are up and coming, where you're going to be able to get that 50% off so that you have your miners at the level you want them at. And if you're happy with the miners at the level you have them at now, that's great. But understanding that when we go to the Base chain, that there is no liquidity raise at all. Yeah, you have to remember that this is a self-sustaining ecosystem. And so because you will be able to mint your miners, all of that USDT is what's going to be used to pair to the MoveQuest when it gets listed on the exchange. And so if that does list, and we figure on a low, it'll list at about $168 based on an average of what people will do. But it could be as high as even $700-800 if every single person duplicated what they currently have. So with that being said, we've got some really good days coming ahead of us over the next 90 days. So I just want to make sure that everybody is prepared for that. And if you want to start planning, over the next 90 days to evolve, right now we didn't lift the price up where it was at on the evolution. It's not a promotion. We just rolled it back to what it was. So I'm ready to be really clear on this. It's not a promotion. We just did a rollback to what it was, and I don't even think it was at those prices for a week before we did that rollback. And it was a lot to do with those hurricanes and a lot of people not being able to do the evolution and take advantage of it. But now I'm just kind of letting it sit there for a minute because the market value of the token is down and it gives everybody a little breathing space. So I think that's all I've got to add to today's meeting. Moving forward this week, I mean, I think we got a lot of topics and things that we're going to talk about on our upcoming Zooms so that you have more. So I guess you can arm yourself with more information moving forward. So that's what I got today, Brandon.